All right, media, thank you for joining this morning. We're going to hear from GM and head coach Derek Fisher, along with Brittney Sykes and Amanda Zahui B. We'll start today with Brady Klopfer with SB Nation.
Hey, Derek. Can you just talk a little bit about what went into the roster decisions yesterday, and obviously keeping Carly around for now and the spacing she provides? What have you seen from her that made you feel like she needed to stay on this roster?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing, as we continue to kind of navigate our way through, the season and, figuring out how to not only, keep building towards, what our ceiling is this year, what our opportunities will be this year, but, how we plan and put our roster together, for the future as well. So some, difficult decisions, have to be made, and, but it's, it's a human business, and, it's not tough. I mean, I'm sorry, it's not easy to, to make those decisions and, know that you're impacting, a young woman's livelihood and her career opportunities, et cetera. But, so we're appreciative of what, as Bria, Christine, players that have been here prior to today, like we're very appreciative of what they were able to do for us. But hopefully, we can continue to try and find a way to get healthy. Yesterday was the mid-season roster cut down deadline. So, as you noticed, a few teams moved on from players that, contracts start to become protected, beyond yesterday at 5 p.m. Eastern. So, some of it is salary cap related, and some of it is just roster related as we look ahead to what we need our team to look like going into the break and coming out of it. Carly's a great human being. She's done some impactful things, not just during her time here, but this year, but even in 2019, and the time that she's had with the team, prior to me being here. So it's always kind of an easy choice to try and have her around as long as you can, because she, she helps you to maintain, sustain, build, create the type of winning culture and habits that you want to see in all players. So, we'll keep trying to figure out ways to, have her involved and included, as we navigate the moving parts of, injuries and salary cap, et cetera.
We'll go to Amna Subban with the LA Daily News.
Hey, Coach.
Yeah.
So with the roster instability and injuries you guys have had, how are you approaching this stretch of games, which may be the hardest of the season?
I mean, I don't know if the approach to this stretch, changes. I think every game in this league is challenging, just due to the season schedule, the fact that there are only 12 teams, so there's a lot of parity and competitive balance kind of baked into into the season. So the only thing that really changes right now is just trying to keep the 7, 8 bodies or so that we have right now that are healthy and really able to go out on the floor tomorrow night, which is all we can think about at the moment. That they have as much energy and health as possible to go out and compete, but we're not kind of going through the motions just because of what our numbers are right now from a roster standpoint. Like we still prepare ourselves to have a chance to go out and compete to win, and we've really done that most nights. Even in some of the games where the final score has looked fairly wide in terms of losing by 14 or 18, whatever the score may be. In almost every game, late into the third quarter or at some point in the fourth quarter, we were within a few possessions, and maybe the fatigue, maybe just, the other team deserving the credit of, finishing the game stronger than us. So that's how we're looking at it, in terms of this stretch. Vegas is a good team, but, they are human. So, that's why you play the games, to see who can put it together for that night. And we'll have a chance to do that tomorrow.
Sabrina Merchant with SB Nation.
Hey, Derek.
Yes, ma'am.
Go back to the roster decisions for a second. I know at the start of the season you had mentioned that you wanted a team that was relentless attacking the paint and turning the corner and using that pace and physicality. And is that something that you guys are reevaluating at this point of the season, or how do you see Carly or whoever you bring in later fitting into that mold?
Yeah, I think with Carly, I think that the floor spacing offensively is good, but also a basketball IQ and a feel for the game with her experience, the different players that she's played against, the different situations that she's been in. And she's gotten better, to be, transparent with you. Like she's gotten better than she was in 2019 when she came in and helped us out for a week or so. So she's more capable than what it appears in terms of just, being a spot up shooter. She's scrappy, she's tough, not afraid to mix it up and put her body at risk to do the right things on the defensive end. So, those are all things that, regardless of, who they are, like those are qualities that we're looking for in our players. Overall, in terms of the way we want to play the game, it hasn't changed in terms of like overall philosophy, but of course, we always have to be open as coaches to adjusting and adapting based on, who's available in terms of injury, the changes in the roster, the game to game, night to night adjustments that you need to be able to make. But, we still want to and will, play the game with, with some pace. Like we're not going to walk the ball up the court every time. This is not how we want to play. It's not how we designed the team to play. But with short numbers and a short rotation, I think we have to be more mindful of our shot selection and the choices that we make to make sure we still, are getting quality shots on the offensive end. But we still like the versatility that we're building and that we showed during stretches of games. It's just been difficult for us so far to put 40 minutes of it together. But that's to be expected when you're a work in progress.
We'll go to Ben Pickman with Sports Illustrated.
Hey, Derek. I want to go to the other side of the basketball and on the defensive end. I guess Amanda and Brittney together. I guess why do you think they've been so successful defensively, that pair in particular?
Well, I think Amanda, she communicates well. She has great size. She's long. She overall does a really good job of cleaning up the boards. And, she makes people at least think about it when she's around the basket. She may not always block the shot, but she makes people think about, coming to the rim, especially with guards and wings, getting downhill. And a lot of having a good defense is to be able to finish off possessions with rebounds. And, we're not a huge team. We usually attempt more shots than our opponents a lot of nights. So they have a chance to rebound more than us, but I think Amanda's rebounding really helps us at times. And so that's a big part of, I think, playing good defense. And then, Sykes is her mindset and her identity is really, synonymous with the defensive end of it. Like she's talented offensively. And I think she's shown more of that at times over the last few weeks, but she really genuinely loves to play defense. And defense a lot of times is just mindset, more so than technique and skill. Like she just wants to do it and be good at it. And so when you have, that kind of player on the floor, like it lifts everyone else up to match that commitment to being good on that end. So I think her teammates trust her, defensively, which is huge. And that contributes to good team defense. So, she deserves a lot of the credit for, the nights where we've been really good defensively, like Brittney's been in the middle of all of it.
Thanks, Ben. Time for a few more here. Appreciate the great turnout today. We'll go to Kahari Jones Jr. with the LA Sentinel.
Hey, what's going on, Coach?
Kahari.
Oh, just how these how you mentioned about the salary cap was and roster related with the cuts going on. How important is it for the WNBA to continue to expand and get more teams? And also, do you see yourself continuing to push the issue of expansion?
Yeah, I think it's a fair question about creating more job opportunities for for female players and basketball athletes. Like this is a hard league to get into, and it's not because they're only 142 or 140 great basketball players in the world. It's just difficult to crack through because there aren't as many opportunities. I think at the same time as we're hopefully thinking about growing the game and maybe expanding the opportunities with more teams, I think we also have to think seriously about what our expectations are for our current teams, and we have new ownership groups coming in. We have a great ownership group. Like, we have to continue to have the investment and the support of our ownership groups in order to grow the game, to make sure that whether it's 12 teams or however many teams after, that our players are being invested in and supported and built around the way they deserve to be. And that takes a joint effort. It takes the players, the league office, ownership groups as well, and to try to figure out, how to make sure we're treating these players with world-class respect. And some of it is just the way our league is built, the financial model, the things that are good about it and not so good, like it all factors in. And a lot of teams have financially not done very well. So, that then also kind of goes over to how do we continue to engage a fan base to support the game in a way that allows it to grow financially. How do we convince more fathers to, cut on WNBA games sometimes when the TV is on in the background, so that their sons and daughters and nieces and nephews and people can start to feel like the WNBA is something that you should watch and support. How do we convince more people to turn out for media sessions like all of you here today, so that we can get more clicks and more conversations and more people talking about this league and talking about these players? That's the only way it's gonna work, whether it's 12 teams, 13, 14, 15. If the teams aren't doing well financially, the players aren't being supported, by being watched and viewed, then it's gonna fall on itself at some point. So there's a whole lot to it. And hopefully, we can all kind of do our part along the way to be positively impactful.
Time for three more here. We'll go to Carolyn Peck with the Las Vegas Aces broadcast.
Hey, Derek, I got a couple of questions. One is, do you have a timetable that we might see Chiney and NECA? And then the second question is the impact that Taya Cooper and Erica Wheeler have been able to have for your team.
Yeah, appreciate you hopping on, Carolyn. I think the first question, they're still both really week to week. They're progressing. We're seeing them more, doing things on the court, around the gym, et cetera. I think a lot of it will just come down to timing wise, especially now without, NECA's really not having to, move her clock, towards being prepared for Team USA. So that, there's not as much, I think, of an urgency from our part as a team on having her accelerated to a point that, maybe she comes back to play a couple games before the break, but then we have the break coming. So we'll continue to discuss it internally and what the right thing is to do in terms of their return. And we'll decide if it's before the break or just coming out of the break when our entire team hopefully can get healthy and, Maria Vadiva and get Christy back and Nneka and Shanae. Like, we still are really excited about what our team is going to look like, in the coming weeks. I think the second question with Erica and Taya, like the impact has been immeasurable because even though it hasn't resulted in the best record in the league thus far, teams are aware of our ability to push the pace, and Erica and Taya's ability to get downhill and get to the front of the rim, which forces defense to put two on the ball, which then creates great shot opportunities for other people around each of them. So I think Erica's gotten more comfortable as she's gotten back into game condition after having a season off last year, and really leading us in especially in the fourth quarters of close games. Like, she's been fantastic. Taya's continuing to find her way in this league, and how to be really good every night and not just one night, every few weeks or so. And you're really starting to see her grow. So we're we feel good about what they're both doing, and I think if we can get Christy Tolliver back and going in a good direction, as she gets more comfortable after having a season off last year, we feel like our backcourt is going to be really strong for the next couple of years. And then we get our front court healthy. Again, we like where our team is headed.
Last question for Coach. We'll go to Chris Camella.
Hey, morning, Coach, or I should say good afternoon.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. So obviously with the moves that you made, I'm just curious, do you feel like, and I just want you to expand on what you said earlier, do you feel like you're getting closer to having this team executing the vision that you had once you got the title as GM? Do you feel like you're getting closer to that long-term goal and the long-term plan that you had in mind when you first took the job?
Yeah, I mean, we are just, unfortunately happening significantly slower than, what we originally imagined. Obviously losing, Jasmine Walker against Las Vegas, actually, 2 minutes into her, her time on the court in the second game of the season, she was a significant part of that transition that we were making from the way we used to play, the things that we used to do, to what we will be able to do forward. The move for Gabby Williams, also with that in mind, the versatility, the athleticism, players that can play multiple positions, that can guard multiple positions. Like, both Jasmine and Gabby are, they're going to be amazing for us as we move forward. This season, same, we're getting closer, right? Like we talked about, Erica's getting stronger as the season goes on. Taya, who, didn't have a training camp last year, just got thrown into the fire in the bubble. This was almost like a rookie year again, as far as going through training camp and playing in LA, which she didn't do last year in Florida, learning how to balance expectations and, the platform that she has. Like, there's a lot of adjustment for her. Christy Tolliver, who didn't play last year, finding her way back, and, she was starting to become more aggressive and assertive out there, more field goal attempts per night. And those three guards, all three of them being able to score the ball, being able to penetrate and make plays for themselves and for other players. That's what we envisioned as well. And then with Nneka and Shanae, hopefully getting healthy soon, and Maria Vadiva reporting, coming out of the Olympic break. And then you combine that with Amanda Zahui and Brittney Sykes and Nia Coffey. Like, that's a team that we feel like can match up and compete with anybody. We have to get to that point where, like I said, even this season, getting all of those players on the court at the same time we're really looking forward to that. But right now, we're thinking about Las Vegas and how we prepare to give ourselves a chance to win tomorrow, while still having and keeping that positive outlook on where we're headed.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, media questions for Amanda, Zahui B, and Brittney Sykes. We'll start with Pepper Pursley with the next.
Hi, I just have a question for Zahui for now, but so I wanted to ask you a little bit about pride, and I read your pride piece for the WNBA's website where you said, when we find who we really are and are confident in that person, there's nothing in this world that can take us away from that feeling and that joy. And I really love that quote. So I was wondering, how did the WNBA and being a part of a league like the W help you feel comfortable being yourself?
Yeah, well, hi, first of all. And I just been around great people. My teammates always been great and supportive of who I am and what I stand for, and that energy just trickles down to everybody. And I've created beautiful relationships with players on other teams, my own teammates. So that's just really, Slim is one of them that pushed me to be me 100%, and just love what I do and who I am. So that's one of the things that I'm the most grateful for when it comes to the W, the people in it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I love her.
Thanks, Pepper. We'll go to Sabrina Merchant with SB Nation.
Hey there. For both of you, but I guess primarily Brittney, you guys played Vegas earlier in the season and it was a tough loss, obviously lost Jasmine for the game, but how do you feel like you all have improved specifically offensively since then?
Well, that was our second game of the season, and that was our second game of the season after having a week break. So a lot of other teams were able to build that chemistry a little bit quicker than we were able to when it comes to like in-game situation, right? So now we didn't have a whole bunch of games back to back to back in a sense, and we since Vegas have learned each other's uniqueness when it comes to our games. If Zahui on pick and rolls like the pop moment, she likes to dive. I'm on the wing. Do I like to cut more than I like to get the ball in the corner? It's those things that we're finally doing without having to talk about it or having to think about it. It's becoming more natural now, and we're really starting to get those little, what do you call them things? Like little niches that that help each other score. Sounds good. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, Sabrina. We'll go to Tukni Nguyen with the LA Times.
For Brittney, you guys have a pretty tough stretch coming up with Vegas and then Seattle. Hey,
Tukni, your audio is messed up. Sorry, Tukni, your audio is messed up. We will try to circle back to you. We'll go to Carolyn Peck with the Aces broadcast.
Hey guys, your team is built first from the defense, and you two have had major impacts. Zahui on the inside and Brittney just about everywhere on the court. How do you all feed off each other defensively?
I tell Zahui that to trust her feet and that she's a better defender than what she thinks she is. I just think it's one of those things where we take pride in protecting, our side of the floor and just priding each other. The feel you get when you play with us is you come like, Zahui can speak to it, but me being my second year, and the energy that you feel is you better play some damn defense. Like that's the energy that comes off. Like you better play some defense because LT's not letting it slide, Fred's not letting it slide, Fish definitely not letting it slide. But everybody knows when LT speaks her mind on defense and the energy she gives, it trickles down to us, and then it spreads infectiously through everybody else. So, that's my spin on it. That's where I get it from. Like it's a family thing. It's a commit thing. If somebody take a charge, it's like, damn, I want to play that much harder because you gave up your body for me, knowing I probably got blown by. So it's that trust that we're trying to continuously build on the defense and the offensive end.
Thanks. We'll go to Anne-Marie Anderson, also with the Aces broadcast.
Hi, my goal is to have you guys smile like you did with Pepper when she asked her question, but I know it doesn't happen. Amanda, you didn't play the first time versus the Aces. I'm wondering kind of how much you're looking forward to it. And yeah, you didn't know that, Brittney. And how much you're looking forward to the opportunity, given all the adversity you guys have faced this year, you know, the toughness that you bring and such.
Yeah, I mean, I look forward to every game. It doesn't matter who we play. But I haven't seen the Aces this season besides preseason. So I'm really looking forward to like playing against them. Obviously, they're one of the better teams in the league, but I'm just happy for every game. And then, you know, being out there with my sisters and, like Slim said, bring the energy and sacrifice our bodies for each other and then pick each other up. That's what I look forward to every game day. So yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Brittney, what's the mentality with all the adversity this year in terms of leading the younger people on your team, specifically Cooper, in terms of dealing with the adversity of people being in and out of the lineup?
Just keeping that next man up mentality. And this team, anybody can go off at any time, at any point of the game. So it's one of those things where if it's your night, it's your night. If it's not your night, it's still your night because you still got to be a teammate. Like if you missing shots, that don't mean that, you know, you can't go and get a deflection, get a steal, get a stop. So that's kind of the mentality, not even kind of, that is the mentality that we carry, you know, especially with whoever's on the bench. Somebody on the bench obviously is becoming a starter one night, and they're back on the bench because somebody else is a starter. So it's just staying ready and understanding that whenever you touch the floor, that's you supposed to give it your all. And even when you're on that bench, you still give your teammate your all. Because the more you inside yourself, you might as well not even be there, you know? So Fish and everybody on our staff does a great job of making sure that we all stay in tune with each other and we stay in tune with the game. Nobody's never trickling off on the back end. Like everybody's together, everybody's there. So next man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Time for two more. We'll go to Amna Subhan with the LA Daily News.
Hey, ladies. Questions for both of you. Slim, when with this upcoming stretch of, you know, some of the best teams in the league, what's your approach defensively? And for Zahui, with preparing for Liz and Asia Wilson, you've approached a lot of great bigs this season, but how are they different?
My job is just trying to make them as comfortable as possible, you know, not give them anything easy. And it's hard. It's hard playing in this league. You know, we've been having games where we playing against the best settings in the world, back to back to back. So just watching the previous games and learn from those games, just trying to make them as uncomfortable as possible. Be there for my teammates.
Thanks, Amna. Last question for today. We'll go to Chris Camello with Nightcast Media.
Afternoon, ladies. How are you? Like the sweatshirt, by the way, Brittney. Repping the cues. Yeah, you know, obviously it was a tough day yesterday. Christine and Bria were obviously let go from the team. I just wanted to kind of get your input on not only the type of players that they were, but you know, the type of people that they were as well. Because every time I spoke about them, and you two especially always had great things to say. So I just kind of want to get your thoughts, if you wouldn't mind.
I mean, it was family. I mean, they still are family, even though they're not here. It sucks, and I just want to put it out there. Like, people have to remember that, like, when these trades and these waves happen, it's business, yes, but at the end of the day, we're still human. So it hurts, but at the same time, we know that there are two more than capable players who can play on other teams. So it's like a bittersweet feeling. But like y'all said, we always had something great to say about them and Christine. They always brought the laughs, they brought the energy, they brought the positivity, they worked hard. Like they did everything that you were supposed to do. It just so happened that it was just their time. So again, it sucks, but it's business, but we love them both. And of course, we don't want to wait nobody. You know, it's not in our control. All we can do is just adapt and keep pushing. But we love them. It's always love when we see them. It's always home. So.
Thank you so much, and thank you for a great turnout today, media.
Thanks, E. Thank you, guys.